The market is far from being pretty. Today, this week, this month, everything is going down and some tokens are going down more than others, especially AI-related tokens and meme coins are suffering. Have a look at this category overview. AI agent launchpad related tokens went down by 56% in the last week. Base meme coins, so meme coins on the base chain, went down by 49. AI agents in general 48, etc. It's all the tokens that went high flying in the last months that are now getting crushed the most. Now there's one token that was never really flying high that's still getting crushed, and that's Pudgy penguins. It's down more than 70% in the last month. It's still the 5th largest meme coin on Solana with a liquidity pool of 9.2 million. But it really didn't matter at what time you bought Pudgy penguins, right? The Pengu token pretty much went down all the time. This was a money grab orchestrated by the market makers and by the centralized exchanges. Today, there are only 1,600 buyers versus 2,200 sellers. And this difference of 7 percentage points brings us down 23% in the price. And so among the major meme coins, Pudgy penguins is the worst performing. And that then begs the question, does it make sense to panic sell now to rescue the remaining capital that's left? Or does it make sense to potentially even buy this dip to dollar cost average down in order to get a lower average cost basis to then profit from a subsequent rally? Now what we've got over here is the trading volume on chain for the Pengu token over time. On the left side measured in US dollars, on the right side normalized to 100% where we segment across different holder thresholds. So we can see how the trading volume over time tends to decline. On the very first day, we had almost $500 million of trading volume, and now that's down to less than 15 million per day. Now, over time, it appears as if less and less of the trading volume is done by small retail. So that's the wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token. And it's the wallets that have up to $10,000 worth of the token that take over more and more of the trading volume. Now, instead of looking at trading volume, we can actually count the number of holders based on minimum token holding thresholds. So to be counted for the chart on the left, a wallet has to hold at least 100,000 Pengu tokens. So at the current price of roughly 1 cent, that's worth $1,000 roughly. For the chart in the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holding. So that's now $10,000 worth of the token. For the chart on the right, another 10x. So that's $100,000 worth of the token. Now we can clearly see how interest by the retail investor tended to go down since the middle of January. So that's over here on this chart. The biggest wallets though, the whales, they tended to not sell. They tended to accumulate. So the price didn't really rally much when retail bought in. Once retail started selling, that's when the price started to really decline. And it seems like now the whales are picking up the pieces. They're not buying fast enough to support the price, but they are taking over more and more of the supply. Now, how much supply do they have? The answer is close to 90%. Small retail only owns 2.5% of the supply, medium-sized retail another 2.8%, and large retail, and that's the wallets that have up to $100,000 worth of the token, own 8.6%. All of the rest of the supply is owned by wallets that have more than $100,000 worth of Pengu. Now, in the end, it doesn't really matter what kind of altcoins we chose, right? Pretty much everything went down. So it seems like it's more important to time the macro than the micro, right? The individual asset selection isn't that important. It's more important to exit when prices are high and to buy when everything is depressed. But then the question is, how much longer could we fall? What we see over here is the Bitcoin dominance. So how much of all of crypto is in Bitcoin? And that tends to oscillate somewhere between 40% and 70%. When it moves from 70% down to 40%, that means that Bitcoin becomes less important, and that means that the altcoins are massively outperforming. However, when Bitcoin's dominance is going up, that means that Bitcoin holds up relatively well. It can perform better than the alts, and it might make sense to rather be allocated towards BTC than towards the altcoins. Now, how much higher could this go? Again, this moves between 40 and 70%, and currently we are at 62%. So another 8 percentage points, potentially a bit more than that. I also like this measure over here. This shows how much other people short short-term bearish on crypto? How much are they risk off? This graph shows the stablecoin dominance. So not the Bitcoin dominance, but the stablecoin dominance. How much of all of crypto is in stablecoins? When this is very high, then the market is spooked. Then nobody is in anything risky. And when this is very low, that's the exact opposite. The market is very, very excited and wants to buy all kinds of meme coins left and right. And there is a very strong connection between the prices, right? An inverse relation. And the stablecoin dominance was at its peak. That was when Bitcoin bottomed out at 16K. When the stablecoin dominance was at its bottom, that is when Bitcoin didn't rally that much anymore. And once we saw a similar bottom in the stablecoin dominance again, Bitcoin's price also tended to not rally that much. Now, are we going to go sideways for a bit longer to then go up again, or are we going back into the 80s, 70s and 60s and revisit those stablecoin dominances of 18%? Nobody knows. But this does give us an idea that this is potentially just the beginning of the market cooling off. The market historically had been way more risk off than it is today. Yes, I know that's hard to believe when a lot of altcoins are down more than 50%, but there have been times when people went even more into the stablecoins. And that, of course, would mean more pain ahead. Now, here's what I believe is ultra important during times like this. When it's not really clear where the market is going, we need to have a plan what to do in case things turn around. The issue I see with most beginners in crypto is that there's only a plan for bull markets, right? When there's a bull market, we follow the influencers, we try to track those influencers, we try to buy small altcoins, and we hope for those altcoins to make multiple X returns. Now, when the market turns around, when it turns bearish, then the question is, what should we do? And if there is no plan, then people simply just keep on holding those altcoins and riding them all the way down to zero. So it's very important to have a plan what to do in case the market doesn't expand further from here. To be completely objective, right? Because if there's no strategy what to do in a bear market, then the issue is that there won't be anything, right? Then you will simply just freeze up and do nothing. There are opportunities in bear markets. I actually think that it's easier to make money in bear markets than it is to make money in bull markets. For example, have a look at this. This is Balancer relative to Ethereum. This goes down pretty much all the time. And I started shorting this over here at the beginning of 2023. Now, this is a relative valuation chart, right? This is not Balancer in US dollars. This is Balancer relative to Ethereum. And so the volatility is relatively low. BAL underperformed Ethereum by more than 84%. And Ethereum didn't do that well either. And the reason why some of those altcoins go down that consistently is because of supply expansion, right? More and more tokens hit the market. Some tokens get allocated to early investors or to the team. They then get an unlock, they get a vesting unlock, and they can then sell towards the market. And this additional supply over time depresses the price. This is why we see those bad relative valuation charts, but we can take advantage of that by betting on falling prices on relative valuations. Have a look at this, right? This is Arbitrum relative to Ethereum. Also pretty much going down all the time for the exact same reason. And so if you have never shorted an altcoin before, if you never made money with an altcoin going down, or if you never made money with relative valuation short, so you just bet, say, on BAL or on Bitcoin going down in US dollars, but you never really played this relative valuation game where the volatility is much smaller, then probably you're missing out on a lot of potential alpha. Most altcoins underperform Bitcoin most of the time. So we can pretty much diversify with short positions. With longs, that is not so easy, right? When we buy an altcoin, there's maybe one or two altcoins that go through the moon and others just go along and they're not outperforming that much. So we have to pick the few winners. But with picking losers, it's not that hard because, again, most altcoins underperform Bitcoin most of the time. And so I made a lot of tutorial videos on this concept. First of all, how to think about this in the portfolio, but also how to execute on those individual trades and how to find tokens that underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum the most consistently. So there's this video over here, how to win in bear markets by shorting altcoins. There's this one gaining from relative valuations, so not in US dollar prices, but in relative underperformance to Bitcoin and ETH. There's here shorting optimism relative to BTC. That video was published on the 5th of May 2023. So over here, since then, the price went down by 63%. And yeah, there are also more conceptual videos where I'm making nice drawings, how to profit from falling prices, how to deposit collateral, how to borrow against this, etc. Then here's another video, my steps for opening a link/BTC short. Chainlink also underperformed Bitcoin massively since then. And so if you don't want to get wrecked like the vast majority of market participants during a potential bear market, I'm not saying that the bear market has already started, but in case you don't want to get wrecked once it does start, there will be a time, then feel free to check out those videos here, right? They're all part of Premium. Premium has more than 100 tutorial videos. It's not just about shorting altcoins, it's also about managing risk and how to be properly set up across asset classes. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, in case you don't learn anything, then feel free to message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. I know this price is not very low, but it might be low comparable to the potential losses you might make if you don't have a strategy for bear markets. And so if it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in Premium. Cheers.